Welcome back, folks. It is Cinewhoop week on my channel today, and that means that we are testing and flying Cinewhoops. I got a bunch of them. This is the Shendrones Squirt as built by Rotor Riot. This is the iFlight Bumblebee as built by iFlight. Duh. This is the Diatone Taycan, and this is the Holybro Kopis Cinewhoop. And in a previous video, playlist in the description below, we just talked about them on the bench, but we didn't fly them. And so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to fly them. Let's face it, this is the video you all want to see anyway, isn't it? There's so much educational content in that other video. You should definitely check it out. But check this one out too, and check the next one out. The playlist is in the description. Let's fly. By the rules of eeny, meeny, miny, mo, we've selected the Diatone Taycan to go first in this flight test. So I've got my analog goggles on, and in case you missed it in the previous video, Diatone and iFlight sent me the analog version of their quad. Rotor Riot and Holybro sent me the DJI version of their quad. So, I mean, that's what I've got, so that's what I'll be flying. All of these are available in a high-def version if that's what you prefer to fly. Although the Holybro and the Rotor Riot aren't available in an analog version. That explains why they didn't cheap out and send me the analog version. There isn't one. So we'll be flying analog on this one, and we'll definitely analyze the camera and the video transmitter range, but bear in mind, if you're a DJI fan, that's an option for you. We're flying with an 850 milliamp hour battery, and that is the smallest battery that is recommended for use with this style of quad. We're going to also test fly with a larger battery, and we'll see both ways. The first flight that I want to do is just like some acro flying, because these things are damn fun to fly, just like around the house, around the warehouse. And so let's just see how they handle. Here we go. Hovering at about 30% throttle, that's not bad. That's just with the lighter battery on it though, of course. We've only got about 10 degrees of up tilt here. This is set up like a Cinewhoop. It's not intended to be a speedy freestyle monster. Camera looks really good. This analog camera is very, very nice. Resolution is not the best, but let's see here. If we punch out and do like a... That's not bad at all. Prop wash handling isn't the greatest. Now these are my acro rates, which is probably faster than you would typically want for a Cinewhoop, but... not bad. How fast are we? Let's try and get some speed. It's going to be a little hard to do because I'm going to pitch way forward. It's a little hard to get up speed, as you might expect. I'm just staring at the ground. It's not as fast as the fastest 3 inches I've ever flown. That's kind of the point, though. It's not designed to go fast. I'm at like 50% throttle. It's hard for me to even get to full throttle. Let's do a full throttle punch. It gets up there. And this is, if I remember right from the setup, Diatone has not tuned this. This is just on stock PIDs, so presumably there is room to improve this with a little bit of work. But this is how it's been delivered to us. Seems smooth. Corners, not too bad. So as 3 inches go, this isn't the best 3 inch I've ever flown because it is heavier. I mean, you could easily get an Acrobat under 250. Oh, hello. Test our crash ability. Seems okay. I don't know what happened there exactly. You can easily get an Acrobat under 250 grams, but it's not bad for what it is, especially because you have so minuscule up tilt. Came right up because of those prop guards, huh? Didn't seem to take any damage in the crash in terms of, like, I don't see any jello, like I bent a prop or anything like that. Definitely feeling the low resolution of the camera and the standard definition nature of it in terms of, like, picking out branches and stuff. Yeah, okay. Alright, really no damage whatsoever. A little bit of marks on the foam, I guess. But yeah. Now, let's fly the iFlight Bumblebee. So the iFlight Bumblebee has 1507 motors and 3300 kV, whereas the Diatone has 1407 motors, 4000 kV. So these lower kV motors may mean that we're hovering at a higher throttle position. No, it's about the same. Whether it's the props or the weight or whatever, we're hovering and cruising at about 30, maybe a little higher throttle position. Let's see how it feels when we fly it. Now this one has been tuned. iFlight has a custom tune on it. It's still hard to pick up speed with only 10 degrees of up tilt. Oh, hello. Hard to see where you're freaking going when you're pitched forward that far. Oops. This is a Cadex camera, and I've noticed that something about, I don't know if it's a sensor that manufacturers are using these days, but the shadows look really blue sometimes. I don't know what causes it, but let's see. It can go fast. Oh wow, it really didn't like that. Oh yeah, no, it really doesn't like that. Oh, wobbly, wobbly, wobbly. Okay, so it's got a custom tune on it, but that tune must be tuned for Cinewhooping, not for any kind of acro, I guess. Because that is not for that. Let's do a full throttle punch. It gets up there. Not sure if it's spectacularly faster than the... Oh, yeah. Oh, it's struggling, man. We should check it out, make sure I didn't break something when I hit that tree, but I would be disappointed if I did. Let's bring it back in. Well, I don't know if I just got a dud or if that's how they all are, but suffice to say, the iFlight's going to be, at least for me, does not look like a good, fun acro basher. We have to acknowledge that that's not what they were designed for, but so what? Okay, now it's time to swap out the analog goggles for the DJI goggles and fly the Rotor Riot Shendrones Squirt. This is the granddaddy of all the Cinewhoops, so does that mean like it's had more time to get everything right? Or does that mean that it's out of date and people have done better things? Well, we're going to find out at least how it flies. Now, unfortunately, we don't have throttle position in the OSD, so I can't compare the throttle position at hover. That's just not, I think, something that, I can't remember if the DJI OSD supports that or not, but here we go. And already I can hear the, oh, it stopped recording. Now my sync is gone. And already I can hear the prop spinning against the prop guard, so I'm going to put it in turtle mode. I'm going to arm. Just going to spin those props a little bit and chew up those prop guards a little bit, and maybe that'll fix that. Wow. Well, I'll have to check the up tilt, but yeah, no, this is the experience I had when I flew Nurgle as Cinewhoop. If I got more up tilt on this one, it's just flying really good. What is it about it? How about the little bobble there for sure? Little bobble there, there's no doubt. Oh, little bobble there. Pitch seems clean. Little prop wash. But, you know, it's not made for ultra acro, but you could definitely tell those ducts are on. That's what it feels like in the way that it corners with just a little bit of, like it wants to be settling in the corner, and it's got a little bit of wobble or stability. So it doesn't feel like it's like a slalom monster, but it's plenty fast. How are we doing? 3.6, 3.7 volts. It feels like because we're going so much faster, we must be going to get a shorter flight time. Like we're just, the average speed on this is way faster. The up tilt must be higher. And that, this Rotor Riot who set that up with the up tilt that they deliver, so I haven't adjusted. Oh, oof. Didn't like that yaw move, did it? Oh, yeah, no. It's a little yaw spin. Well, it's got, yeah, it's settling in really good. Maybe the ducts are causing that, but it's got some jerk on yaw. Yeah, 14.5, 3.6 volts, 2 minutes, 3 seconds flight time. Let's not wreck it. So you can see that it's not like ideal for freestyle outdoors, but it's definitely got some pop, there's no doubt. Does that, however, make it the best Cinewhoop? Is that what you really want from a Cinewhoop? 14.0 volts, so now we're starting to come down to 3.5 volts. Flight time 2 minutes 40 seconds. Could keep going just a little bit. It's really not a fair comparison because it's so much faster. It's really flying faster. It must have more up tilt. Ooh, this one is fast too. Battery's sagging like hell when I push it. Interesting. Of all of them, this one seems to have the best flight characteristics. Like it's flying, even when I try to push it, it's flying really normal. However, the battery is already down to 15.0 volts. So it definitely seems to be pushing the battery too. It's loud too. It is, so far, it is the nicest to fly of the three. For this style of flying, anyway. I'm really sure I just heard the GoPro turn off. But my DJI is still recording, so I'll just keep it. Oh, 14.4. 1 minute 45 seconds, and we're already down to 14.4. Let me check the GoPro. Of all of those, I gotta say that the Holybro is the one that impressed me the most. Obviously, these guys are not designed first and foremost for like hardcore acro freestyle flying, but there are going to be times when even a Cinewhoop is going to have to move a little bit fast and be a little bit maneuverable. You don't just use Cinewhoops for slowly flying through a coffee house or something to make a commercial. Sometimes you're going to chase a skateboarder or a mountain biker, and you're going to want to do something like this. So now, let's put a heavier battery on them. We're going to put a 1500 milliamp hour pack on, and we're going to try to do a slow, smooth, cinematic flight. And I don't know exactly how we're going to do that, but we'll figure it out. its prop wash. It's getting into its own prop wash, and that's what's doing that. So you got to keep your speed moving. You got to keep at a very consistent speed to Cinewhoop. I am not a pro Cinewhoop pilot by any means. It is nice to have this DJI to be able to see the scraggle though. And to be able to rely on prop guards to bonk the scraggle out of the way. I'm picking up speed here, so come around here and we'll go through the back of the barn. If we're going to do a Cinewhoop test, we should really make sure we do some slow, precise moves. I know what let's do. Let's go under here. And then let's go up here. It's the back. I'm tapping the back. It sticks out more behind me than I realized. That's got to be what did that. Nope. It's definitely Oh, what am I doing? Is there wind? There can't be wind in the barn, can there? Why can I not go through that gap? Okay. Well, 4 minutes, a little bit extra at the beginning. We're still only at 14.2 volts. We got plenty of time to go. Here we go with the Shendrones Squirt. Smooth cinematic flying. Now, do we get any of that bobbling like we did? Yeah, so as I get down toward the ground, I think it's the prop wash from the ducts is making me bobble. Okay, I also think I now have a leaf in my prop. It sounds like. Yes, indeed. So trying to do the most Cinewhoopy things I can. As you get into proximity, it really starts to bobble. It's interesting. Oh, I don't know what that was. Have we got that same breeze in here? Or can I hit this gap? No, I'm getting pushed to the side, and I don't know why. That is really weird. It's pinned. Alright guys, we're back at the analog goggles. We're going to go out in the order we came in. We'll do cinematic flying on the Bumblebee and then the Taycan. And this one, yeah. This one, the sun is lower in the sky, so let's see how this camera deals with it. Yeah. So the up tilt on the Taycan is definitely way low. And what's the gall darn? Oh, we're on 25 milliwatts. That's the problem. There we go. Yeah, don't be on 25 milliwatts. Well, it's still struggling a bit. But it's better. I see some jello, unfortunately. Yeah, I see some jello in the high-def footage. I hope that doesn't mean that there's jello in the GoPro. Trying to fly as smoothly as I can. Definitely when you get down low toward the ground. I'm used to being able to just skim the deck. That's fascinating. I'm used to being able to just skim the deck as low as I want and be smooth, but I think it's the ducts are making it sort of bobble when we get close to the ground. So we got this just a lot of wobbling when we try to go down in there, kind of a thing. Let's see how we do through this section. Well, you definitely get a lot better low light sensitivity with the analog camera than I did with the DJI. That's for sure. The DJI isn't terrible in low light, but this is just way, way better. I'm loving these sunbeams coming through in the dust. That's hot. That's amazing. Can we go through this damn section? No, what is pushing me away? That is so damn weird. What is pushing me away from that wall? Every time I get close, I just get pushed away from the wall. That is so weird. Am I literally bumping my prop guard? Can't be. Yep, that's what's happening. I can't be. So we got that bobble as we get close to the ground, but when we're flying like this, I think of them all, I'm seeing fewer sort of twitches and bobbles. on the Taycan compared to the others. And I feel more confident flying it. As we go close to the ground, damn it. GoPro slapped. Let's go up here and see what we do. Yeah, I think I'm literally bumping the wall. That has to be it. No, that's bumping the wall. I cannot figure out why I get pushed to the left here. I can't imagine that there is... What is happening? It's so weird. That is a mystery. It's a mystery to me. Nice. Oh my god, so good. See, it's doing it again. It just throttles up there for no reason. Alright, I gotta come home. So weird. 3.6 volts, I gotta come home. So, what is the takeaway? The takeaway is that I got a lot more practice to do before I am a pro Cinewhoop pilot. That's for damn sure. I definitely could benefit from lowering my rates. And if you're going to do this, definitely. I don't know if the 200 degrees per second rates that the Diatone came with, that's too low. That almost seems like a mistake. But my normal 900 degree per second rates that I fly with for freestyle, way too much. Both. Because these guys are just not made for that kind of acro. And if you try to make them do that kind of acro, they will suffer for it. Some more than others. But also because lower rates will give you more control. Speaking purely from a perspective of flight performance, and taking into consideration both the slow cinematic flying and the faster acro style flying, I think I would rank them the Holybro Kopis, which was the best in freestyle flying and decent in cinematic flying, followed by the Shendrones Squirt, followed by the Diatone, which was decent at both, followed by the iFlight Bumblebee, which was okay at the cinematic flying, but something's wrong. Maybe it's just mine. It's hard for me to believe that it's acting that radically bad on these fast moves. So maybe there's something that could be done in the setup, or maybe there's something wrong with mine, but at least working off what we've got here, I think I would put it 4th overall. For the pure cinematic stuff, I feel like the Diatone was the one that seemed to fly the best in terms of feeling like I was in control and feeling like I was moving smoothly and getting minimal disturbance from the environment. Yeah, it seemed to have, and maybe that's because it has less of kind of a ducty, its ducts are smaller, and maybe that means it's getting less down push, and then it's less disturbed by its own prop wash. That's tough. But the Diatone was also one of the heaviest ones. Even though it has an analog setup, which is going to be maybe 20, 30 grams lighter than a DJI setup, it's still one of the heaviest, as heavy as the Shendrones Squirt, which has DJI in it. So I think overall, so far the Holybro is the one that seems like it is coming up in the lead in terms of flight performance. But flight performance is not the only thing that you might care about. And with the exception of the iFlight Bumblebee on freestyle, they all flew okay. And I mean, let's face it, pro Cinewhoop pilots are flying this guy now. So the fact that maybe this one seemed a little smoother to me, we got to acknowledge that there might be more to it than that. There's two more things that I want to do in this series. One is look at the setup of the drones, both as delivered, to answer the question, if you were just like a rank beginner, which one of these would be the least amount of work to get the best flying experience? So that's what we're going to do in the next video. We're going to look at the setup. And I would really like to get the opinion of an actual Cinewhoop professional on these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull that off, at least maybe not this week. Maybe it'll happen at some point in the future, but I'd also love to do that as part of this playlist. So look forward to the setup videos. If you missed the very first video where we go over the differences between these guys on the bench, definitely check the playlist down in the video description. If you've decided to buy one of these, there's links in the video description to all of them. And look forward to more videos on this coming out this week in Cinewhoop Week. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you which one of these I would buy. And that's the actual last video. Why would I pick one of these over the others and which one? See you then. Happy flying.